Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Habib Ali and I am an ICT tutor by profession. Welcome to Microsoft Excel and a series of lessons that I will create for you to teach and explain, demonstrate all the features of Microsoft Excel. My plan is to create basic lessons to intermediate lessons all the way to advanced lessons towards the end of this series of lessons. Today I am going to be teaching you lesson 1. So in today's lesson we are going to be learning about the interface of Microsoft Excel and the various sections which makes up the interface, such as the ribbon, quick access toolbar, backstage view, rows, columns, cells, cell addresses, name box, scroll bars, zoom, and worksheet views. I have created a Microsoft Excel interface guide for you. So before you continue with the rest of the lesson, I recommend you click on pause and go to the description box down below. I shall leave you a link. So please click on the link and this will take you directly to my website for lesson number 1, where you can download this exact same guide. So download this PDF file and then follow the rest of the video lesson, and it shall make more sense to you, because on this guide, as you can see, I have named all the different relevant sections, and when you follow the video I shall explain each section for you and it will make more sense, and this will allow your learning to be a lot more comprehensive. As this is the base being lesson number 1, you do need to thoroughly understand each of these sections for the Microsoft Excel interface. So here I have loaded up a workbook. It's called Lesson 1, Introduction to Microsoft Excel 365, and this is exactly what this lesson is going to be covering. It will introduce Microsoft Excel to you and all the various sections that actually make up the interface of Microsoft Excel. So before anything else, I want to introduce you to the question of today's lesson. So let's have a look. So today's question is asking us, okay, do you understand the Excel interface, which consists of the following? So there are many features that actually make up the actual Microsoft Excel interface, and this is only some of them. There are more, and the other features I will introduce you to at a later stage as we progress through the series of these lessons I am going to be creating for you. So let's have a look at these anyway. So today we'll understand what the ribbon is, the tabs, the groups, the commands, the quick access toolbar, the backstage view, using file, workbook, worksheet, what spreadsheet means, cells, rows, columns, formula bar, scroll bar, zoom feature, worksheet views. Now it sounds quite a lot, but as I break down each of these sections and as you understand them, you will notice, or you will realize, that it is actually not so difficult to understand the main aspects of Excel interface. So let's make a start. I'm going to be using sheet 1, which is actually a blank sheet, to introduce to you some of these or all of these features that I have just introduced to you. So let's go ahead. So on sheet 1, the first thing I want to briefly tell you that Microsoft Excel is used to store, organize, and analyze the data. We can also produce calculations, simple calculations or very complex calculation with the use of formulas, functions, etc. You can also create invoices, budgets, financial sheets, and basically anything you can imagine in a graphical form, such as graphs and charts, etc. Which I will also again introduce you in the future lessons individually. I will basically create individual lessons on some of these individual items I have mentioned, as I cannot do justice by creating one lesson on one topic. Okay. So the first thing I want to introduce to you is the ribbon. Now all these, like a menu at the top, we actually refer to this as the ribbon in Microsoft Excel. And within the ribbon, we have then these individual tabs. So that's what we call them. We call them tabs. So you've got the Home tab, Insert tab, Page Layout tab, etc. And then within the tabs, for example, under the Home tab, we have these sections here. So you can see there are vertical lines going down. So within each one of these sections, what we refer to them as groups. So under each tab, there are many groups. So for example, you've got the font group, you've got the alignment group, you've got the number group, and you've got the styles group, etc. And within each group, we have these little features. Now you can refer to them as features or commands. They both are absolutely fine. And within each group, we also have these little arrows on the bottom right hand side, which basically allows you to expand the group and view more features within these individual groups. So if there is an arrow for the group, it means it will expand and show you more features. If it doesn't have an arrow, such as some of these, you can see there is no arrow, it basically means there isn't really any more features available within these groups. Okay, the next section I want to introduce to you is this section here at the top. Now we refer to this as the quick access toolbar. Now basically what that means, as the name is suggesting, that we can add or remove features within this quick access toolbar which we use frequently, or if you don't use them anymore, you can always remove them. So for example, I can click on this arrow and I can choose, because I tend to use quick print quite a lot, which is a faster way of printing my work. So if I was to click on quick print, it will show up now on my quick access toolbar. And another one I tend to use quite a lot as well is this one here, open. So when I'm opening a new workbook, I tend to use this quite a lot. So I'm going to add this to my quick access toolbar. So you can see it's also appeared here. Similarly, if I don't want them, I can just click on the arrow again and simply click on the relevant one, and the tick will be removed, which is telling you that this will no longer be available within your quick access toolbar. So I'm just going to get rid of this one. There you go, it's disappeared. So this is what the quick access toolbar is basically all about. The next one I'm going to be showing you is the actual Backstage View. Now the Backstage View is accessed via this File tab on the ribbon. So by clicking on File, you can then go to the Backstage, where you can access different sections, different commands, such as opening a new workbook, save as, print, etc. So, or even close the workbook that you've got open at the moment, and various other options that you can also access. I'm not going to go too deep into this section. Again, like I said, I will create further lessons to introduce some of these elements at a deeper level for your understanding. Okay, the next one I'm going to be showing to you is these different workbooks, or what we call the entire thing that you are looking at. We call this the workbook. So when you have a title at the top, this title is actually referring to the workbook, or sometimes we call it the spreadsheet. And within the workbook we have these tabs here at the bottom, and we call these tabs the worksheets. So today I've actually got two worksheets here at the bottom. I'm going to now click on this exam results worksheet, and then I want to introduce to you these little boxes that you can see within this worksheet or any of the worksheet. Now we refer to these little boxes as cells. And each cell has an address. So for example, if I wanted to know the address of this cell, I would use this column heading. So this column is column G, and it's also row number 12. So the address of this cell would be is G12. Now you don't necessarily have to be every time looking up the column here at the top and then going across and looking at on the left hand side to identify what row it is, simply because now I want to introduce to you this little area which is called the name box. This will always display the address of the cell that you have selected. So for example, I'm just going to select another cell. Let's go somewhere random here. Now this cell, straight away, if I look at the name box, I can see the address of this cell is L15. Let's do another one very quickly down here. So this one is B15. So you can see each cell address is made up of column and a row. The column is always used first and then the row, such as B15. Let's do another one. You can see is H16. So the column comes first before the row. Okay, the next part I want to introduce to you is this box here, and this is one of the most important area of the interface of Microsoft Excel, because this is your formula bar, which will always display any formula or function that you have typed in. So here's a quick example. I've used various formulas and functions on this worksheet. So I'm just going to click in this cell here, which is H4. Now H4 is displaying 53.3, but in the formula bar you can see I have actually used an average function to get this answer. Again, you will be learning about all these different functions in future lessons. Please don't worry at this early stage. Okay, the next section I want to introduce to you is these scroll bars. Now you've got a scroll bar taking you up and down. So basically you've got this scroll bar which allows you to go down the page and also up the page depending on where you are within your worksheet. And also you have a scroll bar that allows you to take or move around left and right. So you can use the arrows on the left or the right, or you can simply click and drag the scroll bar to take you left and right. Similarly, the up and down scroll bar, you can also click and drag the bar to allow you to move your spreadsheet or your worksheet up and down the page. And the next section I want to introduce to you today is the zoom feature, which is down here. So you've got a plus sign here and a minus sign here. So by clicking on the minus sign, it will zoom out of the document, as you can see there, and clicking on the plus sign, it will zoom into the document so you can see things clearly a lot larger. So zoom in, or you can manually click and drag on the slider here, and you can see how the zoom is changing. The zoom is calculated or measured in percentage, and you can see the percentage just here on the right hand side. Okay, and finally I want to introduce to you today is the different three views that is available within your worksheet. So the first one is your normal view, which is actually the default view that you will see when you open a new workbook to work on Microsoft Excel. Now it is the best view to use, this normal view, when you are entering data and producing your calculation, etc. And the next view is your page layout view. Now this view allows you to see what your worksheet will actually look like if it was to be printed. So in a sense, it is a real view or real view that will show you your actual printout before you print this out. It also allows you to enter what we call these header and footer at the bottom of every worksheet that you produce. Again, don't worry about what header and a footer is. I will cover all these elements in future lessons. And finally, the third view allows, well, first of all, it's called a page break view. Now this is a very good, I'm just going to click on it and show you what this is all about. It looks a bit complicated. It says page 1. Now this is the most important thing I want to introduce to you, is these dotted lines going, or dashed lines going all the way down. Now this is basically your page break, which means if I was to print this out up to this dotted or dashed line, it will treat this section as page 1. So all this information all the way up to this line, it will print on one page, and then this little section will be printed on page number 2. So you can see page 1, and then in this you can just about see it, it says page 2. So it's telling you that this will be page 1 when printed, and this section will be page 2 when printed. And again, we can actually change the page break within the sections as I like. Again, I will introduce all this to you in future lessons. Don't worry about it at this present moment. So this is everything that I wanted to introduce to you in today's lesson as an introductory lesson to this series of Microsoft Excel lessons that I am going to be creating for you from now onwards. So just a final look at today's question, which was asking us, okay, do you understand the Excel interface which consists of the following: ribbon, tabs, groups, commands, quick access toolbar? Okay, so we've covered all that. We've covered the quick access toolbar. We've covered Backstage View using file. We now understand what a workbook is: worksheet, spreadsheet, cells, rows and columns, formula bar, scroll bar, zoom feature, and all the worksheet views. And this is the end of today's lesson. So please don't forget to like and share this lesson and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so. And I shall see you over in the next lesson. And until then, please do look after yourself, and goodbye for now.